Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, we're live.
Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, let's see if this is working. This is our first time doing this, so it hopefully it looks like we are live. Oh my god,
We did it. We're live on the YouTubes.
we are live. This is crazy. Um, how's everybody doing? I'm a little nervous. Can
We're
you see
here.
us? You can see and hear us. Yay!
Great.
Oh my God, Elise, I'm gonna kill you. I've never seen Yellowjackets, but I want to understand what K&K. I specifically said you're gonna be very lost if you
Yeah,
have no idea what we're talking about.
maybe a little bit.
Maybe a lot, like a lot.
Maybe
But
a lot bit, but if you're here for friendship, then that's fine.
I love
Then
being. That's part of what the show's about. Not really, kind of.
it's friendship in its most the friendship of in the most strained sense of the word. When everything goes wrong, how do you and your friends handle it? How do
Right, right.
you and your friends Um, what do you resort to? We'll find out. Let's talk Yellowjackets. I'm excited. And Kimberly and I made a great connection the other day, and when we realized that Wilderness Girls is from Troop Beverly Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, if you haven't seen Troop Beverly Hills or you haven't seen it in a long time, never forget. It's great.
We and Katie decided to call us or golden coats. Is that right?
I decided to call us Gold Coats, which clearly isn't very catchy because Kimberly can't even remember it. So weird. And if this is your first time here, I'm Katie. Who are
And
you?
I'm Kimberly.
And we're from A Date with Dateline, and we decided to do A Date with Yellowjackets on the YouTube because we really, really like Yellowjackets. And so we thought we'd open it to the wide world of the terrifying internet. So this is where we are. Hi.
We normally only show our faces to our Patreons and our supercasters. So we are a little nervous. We have Jake in the comments as our moderator. So if anyone says anything nasty, he's going to take care of that.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks, Jake.
Okay, let's get started.
I changed it to gold coats for you.
Was it Golden Coats?
Yeah, because I forgot that I changed it.
It's not that great. It's not my best work.
No, I like it. But we're calling this channel A Date with K&K because if you don't know, our main podcast is A Date with Dateline, and we do Dateline recaps. And we also have a side show called A Date with the Bake, where we talk about Great British Bake Off with Jake, who's in the comments. So we decided to call this channel A Date with K&K so that we can branch out and see what happens, see where the wind takes us.
Yeah. We also really just want to talk about Yellowjackets.
Yeah.
Because once in a while a show will come along that Kimberly and I get really into. That show is here.
That's Yellowjackets. That show is this. This is now. This is what's oh no, this is now. This is us did not grab us. Sorry.
No, I never have seen This Is Us because it looks unbelievably sad.
It's so sad.
It is, right? It's like everything that happens to a family. Is that what
it's like? Let's watch this family die slowly.
No.
No, I think there's good things. I think they love each other and they have children and like I don't know. I honestly they had like there's like a triplet that they adopt because there was they had a triplet that died and then they adopt this other baby that was like at the hospital. It's very sad.
I'm assuming there's also like a house fire at some point, like major things that happen.
There is a house fire and
okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Okay. Also before we start, I feel like I just need to address that I did nothing with my hair. I tried to curl it. It turned into a Misty-esque frizz thing. And if you don't know who Misty is, again, you're going to be so confused. So we would suggest going to Showtime, watching the whole first season, and then coming back to us and watching this later. If you've seen season 1, it might be helpful to watch a recap. There are many on YouTube that are like 15 minutes.
Yeah. And that's what we're about to do right now. So let's get into season 1, where we leave. We're going to go through our main characters, and we're going to go through our side characters, people who are still with us at the end of season 1, people who have died during season 1, and then the trailer for season 2, which was, to me, huge. What did you think? I'm jumping right to the trailer first. I just need to know because Kimberly's been kind of not talking to me about it, and
yeah, I
not
finally
telling me
watched it like an hour ago, and I'm
Okay.
kind of blown away. And I did take some notes that I will get to at the end.
Okay.
It did give away some things. Yeah.
Really important things, I felt like. There, I mean,
Some of our
the
biggest questions. Yeah.
biggest questions going into season 2 are answered now. So
Yeah.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
All right, but season 1, let's start with, want to give a brief overview of exactly what sort of the arc is? Not Noah's,
So
just this arc.
girls soccer team on their way to nationals. They survive. They crash land in the wilderness. They end up surviving for 19 months before they're rescued. Some don't survive, and they do some bad things out there that they are doing anything they can to get people to not to find out. They are like changing their names, going into hiding, murdering people, turning down millions of dollars of book deals because they did something so bad. And it might be cannibalism, and it might be different. It might be cannibalism adjacent. There's some spirituality of like sacrificing to the woods to get fed during the winter time. We know they trap a girl in a pit at the very beginning, and then we think they eat her. Katie doesn't think they eat her, so hopefully we'll find out if they actually eat her. But basically, so we're jumping between in the 90s when they're in the woods and in the present tense when they are grown-ups, and the ones that have survived that we know about, very mysterious, they're super traumatized. And then there's some other ones that might be alive that we don't know what they're up to. They're doing some crazy cult stuff. So
basically, we're only focused on the team. We're focused on the team that are called the Yellowjackets that went down in this flight on their way to the soccer team. And it's them then in the 90s when the plane crashed in the wilderness, and it's them now. So we're split between 2 timelines in the entire show if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
That's basically and it's why it's kind of important that you watch it, because it's the same person's name, but is it them then or is it them now?
Right.
And it's also really mysterious, like Kimberly said, because we don't know who has died and who has lived.
Yeah. Although the
Quite
preview
unless we're seeing them. Although the preview gives away a ton of people.
Thanks, preview.
2 really important people that we didn't know if they were alive.
The only no, that's not true. But 2 of the 4 people we cared if they're alive or not. It gave it away. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess we should start with Shauna, who the main story is about. Shauna's, I would say, the narrator for the whole thing, and it's also, she's such a fantastic actress. The actress who plays her is Melanie Linsky. Am I saying her last name right? And she's, if you haven't seen her, she's in Candy on Hulu. That's the latest thing I can think of that she's been in. She's been in a ton of stuff. I guess
she's on The Last of Us on HBO also.
Oh, see, she's in a bunch of stuff now, but I guess she's from 2.5 Men, someone told me, which is
and she was on Fargo, the TV show. I could be wrong about that. I think I'm thinking of somebody else. Ignore what I just said. It's that different actress.
Oh, okay. She's delightful,
but she's really good.
She's really good, and she's the old Shauna. And Shauna's the one I would say probably everyone's really rooting for, no matter what at this point. And the young Shauna, I'm not sure who plays her, but Shauna has a unique trait in the wilderness, in that she's pregnant, which is going to become a major plot point in season 2, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah, she's gonna give birth for sure.
Right.
And we don't know what happened to her baby because her baby does not appear to be around in the present time. So did they eat the baby? Did they sacrifice the baby?
I don't know.
But the baby is her best friend Jackie's boyfriend's baby.
Yeah. So let's go into one of our dead characters, which is Jackie. And we think
jumping. Okay.
I'm just going I'm just sort of going through the characters really quick, and then we'll come back.
Okay.
So Jackie is another player that goes down. She goes down in the flight as well, and she is Shauna's best friend. And then but we do not see her in modern time. We only see her as a kid. Then our next player that we see go down in the plane is Natalie, and Natalie is played by Juliette Lewis as an adult, and so we see her as an adult. We know that she survives the wilderness, and she's sort of your punk rock rebel girl. Just comes from sort of a hard upbringing. She has some tragic stuff in her past just outside of the wilderness, and she has a relationship with one of the boys that goes down in the flight. Which brings us to Travis. Travis is the boy that she has a relationship with. He goes down in the flight. He is one of the coaches, the coach of the soccer team. Obviously, they were also in the plane. He's theirs. He's his son. And so there's 2 boys that are or there's 3 boys that are on in this plane crash with a bunch of teenage girls, and Javi is one of them. Or sorry, Travis and Javi are the 2 brothers that are there. And then Travis, we see in early times, we do not see him really as an adult. Then we have Javi, his little brother, who we see in the wilderness. We have not seen him as an adult yet, so we don't know if he makes it. Next is Taissa, who is also on the flight. She's a tough soccer player. We see her in present time, and then we also see her in the wilderness, and she's a main player in this. So she's a huge character. And she has some side characters attached to her. She has a family, but none of them were in the flight. Then we have Misty, who is another one of our main players. We see her in the wilderness. We also see her in current times. And she is played by Christina Ricci as an adult, and she's amazing. Then we have Van, who becomes in a romantic relationship with Taissa in the wilderness. We only see Van in the wilderness, and we don't see her as an adult yet. Then we have Lottie. Lottie is who, if you've ever looked at any pictures of Yellowjackets, you'll see someone in antlers with a big white shroud. That's who we're suspecting Lottie becomes. We've only seen her in the wilderness. It's her plane that crashes. Her dad chartered the jet. So you get this sort of feeling that she's a rich kid. Would we say that about Lottie?
Yeah, for sure.
And she also has some mental health issues, which depending on how you look at it, it's mental health or spiritual. It's complicated.
Yeah.
But we have not seen her as an adult yet. And then we also have a lot of side characters that go down in the plane. But our main players in this in season 1 have been, I would say, Natalie, Shauna, Taissa, Misty, and that's it, right? Those 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are our main players. And everything goes around them. That was pretty fast, right? Did I give you an overview? Do you guys remember the characters if you're trying to get a refresher on the season and what people's names are?
I don't know if they did. I don't know if they watched.
Oh no.
I hope they did.
Okay, so now we're going to jump in one by one. So let's start with Shauna.
Sorry, I have a dog here. She's very excited. Yeah.
That is a basic overview of the characters. We can't go in. There's so much that happens in the season. We can't go into a ton of depth. We really want to talk about the characters, individual, what we think, what their major things that happened to them in season 1 and what we think is about to happen to them in season 2.
Yeah.
All right. So Shauna's got some drama. Right?
Yeah, she got baby daddy drama.
Okay.
Best friend drama.
The pregnancy is the biggest deal.
Yeah.
The pregnancy is going to be huge. I don't know. The pregnancy is really mysterious to me. I feel like whatever the bad thing is that they keep really not wanting to talk about involves that baby. I've always thought that.
Doing my rewatch, there is a scene where Lottie, when they're doing the seance, where Lottie gets possessed and starts speaking French, and she says to Shauna, "It's already in you." So I was like, oh, is the baby like the spirit of the island that impregnated her? Or was it Jeff, Jackie's boyfriend, that she did in the car the night before they left? Is it spiritual baby? Is it adultery baby?
Oh, interesting.
Like ghost baby? What is
I'm
it?
sorry. So you're thinking that this is what's the movie? Jake,
It's like
you're gonna know
Immaculate
this.
Conception.
No,
but
it was the woods themselves.
it was
It
the
was
woods
it was the
themselves
wilderness
that
itself that gave
shot
her
out
a
their
baby.
resin, sperm, whatever, and like impregnated
Resin.
her somehow. Why
I
did it
very
choose
doubt it.
Shauna? I think it's probably an actual baby. But it is interesting because later Lottie says it's in all of you. It's in you. It's in you. Like she thinks it's in everybody. So she definitely was like sensing that Shauna was pregnant. But I think they're going to sacrifice that baby.
Yeah, I think something's gonna happen with the baby.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then the other thing with Shauna is that she kind of inadvertently causes Jackie's death. She ostracizes Jackie and Jackie gets left out in the snow and dies. So she's going to feel really guilty about that. Then in present tense, she's married to Jeff, Jackie's boyfriend, and they have a daughter together who is not the baby from the island. The ages don't match up. So
No.
there's a lot going on.
How do you feel about Jeff? The husband.
He's very vanilla, but he seems to be true blue loyal. I mean, he keeps proving himself to be loyal to her over and over again. He read what's in her diary, what she did in the woods, and he still loves her. He wasn't cheating on her. He forgives her having an affair.
Okay, he did try to extort money from her
He
friends.
did try to extort money from her friends.
Right.
That wasn't great. But his business was having trouble and he didn't want to let her down. Do you think he's evil? What do you think?
No, I don't. I really like Jeff and I want Jeff to be good. And I like the way he handled the murder. We do have 2 murderers in this cast that we know of right now, which are Shauna and Misty. And Shauna like actually kills someone. She stabs him.
But it's a very PTSD moment. She's really flashing back to everything that happened in the woods and flashing back to old Shauna. Not that it forgives her, but like it is a full on when she's butchering the, animals. And it just was this. I read an article that was like how it painted PTSD.
Oh, interesting. I did not think it was PTSD at all. To me, it seemed like what it was trying to show was how easy that was for her now to kill a human after she had killed all those animals that she sort of, because she looks at it with this sort of, she looks at him when she's stabbing him with this kind of quizzical look on her face. And, but maybe, I don't know, that's interesting. They thought it was PTSD. But I had a theory about the journals that I think I'll go ahead and bring up now, which is I don't think that she told the truth in the journals. So when the journals are taken from the safe, she's really panicked about them and everyone's mad that she wrote everything or that she kept her journals from the time. But I don't know if she was writing everything down at the time exactly as it happened, because I don't think Jeff would have been as cool as he was about the baby. I don't think Jeff knows about it.
That's possible. She does say, like, after you know everything, she's like shocked that he's okay with it, which makes me think there's a lot of truth in the journals because she's like, I can't believe you stayed with me after reading those.
I think he knows a lot, but I think he would have said something about the baby. I think he would have said, I'm sorry you had to do whatever to our baby. I'm sorry you lost our baby.
Yeah. Right,
I'm sorry,
right.
Whatever.
That's a good point.
I think he would have mentioned that specifically. I don't think she wrote about it.
Interesting. Yeah, that's totally possible.
So I don't know I don't know if it's on purpose that the journals are a little bit of a fake out or if it's just she couldn't bear to write about it.
Yeah, she's an unreliable narrator in her own journals.
A little bit. All right. Anything
So
else
the
do you
the
want to
other
bring up about
question
Shauna?
is she going to join Lottie's wilderness cult religion? During the night of the full moon, when they all get accidentally high on mushrooms, she holds a knife to Travis's neck and thinks he's a deer and is gonna like slay him and eat him. So it appears she is going to join in on whatever they do this coming season. But I'm not sure.
I think she's a really dangerous part of the wolf pack, right? Because that's sort of what they become that night, and I think that that's her role, and it's even her role when they go to clean up the murder and she has to dismember the body. Boy, if you
Mhm.
haven't seen this show, you're gonna be like, "What
So
are they
confused.
talking about?"
Yeah.
But when they go to dismember, uh, Adam in the bathtub,
Mhm.
it's sort of like even the way she jokes about it, that it's like riding a really gross bike.
Yeah.
Because she just sort of it's just something she knows how to do, so she was the go-to butcher, basically, in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's really valuable to Lottie.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
At the end of the
I
season,
wonder
there's
what
really a
happened.
scene where it's like, who is on Team Lottie, who's the wilderness girls, who is praying to the woods, and who is not. And the who is not is really Jackie. Jackie stands alone. And Shauna's the one that slept with Jackie's boyfriend and got pregnant. Shauna's the one who almost killed Travis the night before, but Jackie becomes the bad guy and is sent out into the snow where she dies because she won't pray over the bear that they are eating.
And we went back and forth a long time on whether or not Jackie was actually dead, but
Well, the actress, didn't help because she kept saying, I keep trying to get them to write me in. I keep trying to say, maybe I'm not dead. I don't think I'm really dead. But then finally, the writers were like, she's actually dead. But there's a scene in the first season where Shauna goes to Jackie's bedroom at her house, and there's something in Jackie's journal that's a list of her favorite movies, and one of them comes out after she died. So people thought that she was really alive, but they said they're going to explain that this season.
how are
I'm
they gonna
wondering
explain
if
that?
Shauna like writes in it or if her parents write in it because they're so desperate to keep her alive.
Oh, maybe. That's a good point. That could
Like
be
the parents
happening.
won't let go. They give Shauna these rabbits because they say Jackie liked rabbits. Jackie didn't even like rabbits, and they keep giving her these rabbit figurines.
Oh,
And
yeah, they
Shauna
really do.
like brutally kills a rabbit in her garden and puts it in the stew.
Right.
Like, and they keep saying like it must have been so hard living in Jackie's shadow, Shauna. She's so pretty and she was so talented, and it's a shame that you lived and she died. Essentially, that's what they're saying.
Oh,
I
that
wonder if
drives
we're
me
going to see
crazy.
more of them.
That's also when Jeff is at his finest moment, by the way.
Yes, he stands up for
That
her.
is Jeff at the finest, and he
Yeah,
says, "We were sleeping together while
yeah.
Jackie and I were still dating." And
Mm-hmm.
she's really smart.
Yep.
It's really sweet the way he stands up for her. Yeah, I like
Absolutely.
Jeff. Jeff is a really good side character. I like
Mm-hmm.
him a lot. So,
Yeah.
we'll see where he goes this season, but I think it's gonna be good based on the trailer.
Yeah. And
I'm
then the other
excited.
part of her plot line this whole season, next season, is going to be, is she going to get caught for killing Adam, her mysterious artist lover that she thought was like a spy that was spying on her and trying to get details about what happened in the woods to
Yeah.
write a book or something. So she killed him, and now his family's coming, the police are coming. Yeah.
But Adam himself, which we'll get to him when we get to minor characters, is a bit problematic.
Adam has a whole nother thing because Adam might, I don't know if I believe that one. That rumor is like too much for me, but a lot of people think. We'll get there. Okay, go on.
Okay, so next up is Natalie.
Yeah. Your favorite?
I love Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natalie is maybe no, I like all of the, now characters, all of the adult characters. No,
Mhm.
I would say I'm trying to think of who my favorite is on the might be Taissa and Van.
Mm. Yeah.
I like Van a lot. I
I
like the
love
way
Van.
Van is
Yeah.
written very, very much.
Yeah.
Sort of being into movies and she's telling the stories like you tell the story of a movie to everyone around
That's
a
my favorite.
campfire.
Watch
And
what
it's
happened or what wait, while he was sleeping. What's that movie?
yeah, while you were sleeping
While you were sleeping, yeah.
with Sandra Bullock. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic how she does that. But Natalie is still I like Natalie. I I don't know where Natalie's going. So Natalie's big storyline is obviously Travis. Travis in the wilderness, it's a lot of high school sort of love drama, which I couldn't get into that much. I feel really bad. I know it's building because we need to know that they're close and in a relationship, and it sets up what happens as they're adults.
It's a bit teen angsty,
So
and
yeah, we've
him
got
being
bigger things going
conscious
on.
because she slept with other guys. It's a little like,
Yeah,
okay, I get it.
yeah. And he's real down. I mean, I get it,
His
but he's
dad just died, but still, come on,
no,
post up,
it's not
Travis.
that. It's more just he's real emo, very much. Just
And he's not very nice to his younger brother, Javi, who totally disappears. No one
who we
seems to
never see. Yeah, we only get 3 boys in the wilderness, and
and one is a non-entity, Javi.
where is Javi?
Where hashtag where's Javi? He disappeared during the full moon. Maybe one of the girls ate him. I don't know.
So we're going into season 2 not knowing where he is because he disappeared
Correct.
during the full okay.
Yeah.
All right, I
He's
didn't write that down.
disappeared,
That's interesting.
and Travis went looking for him. The funniest part of the whole thing is that the end scene where they kick Jackie out and it's like Jackie versus all the girls, the coach is there. Does the coach notice that Javi is the child who's like 12, 10 years old is gone? Like, do they
Is the coach in the room?
Yes, because he's like, okay, it's okay. And then Lottie's like, Coach, stop, shush. So like Lottie shuts down Coach, so he's lost all of his power over this group of girls, and he does not seem to care that Javi is like not there.
I think he lost it a minute ago.
Oh yeah,
I think he hasn't had any control for a while, which is
Yeah.
odd, right? Because you think that coach is supposed to well, just because he's a coach. He's naturally in charge, and
Yeah.
he's absolutely not. The only thing we see him take charge of is when they find the gun. That's the
Right.
only thing I can think of.
Yeah.
And then he gives Travis condoms.
Yes.
But is there anything else that he does that's like
No, he gets poisoned by Misty. He's lost all of his power. I understand he just lost a leg, and that he has a woman, single white femaling him, like,
yeah.
I'm not
Fatal
going to be
attractioning.
ignored, Coach Ben.
Yeah. Fatal attractioning. Yeah.
But
mhm.
I think that he needs to rein in because he's the only adult there. So
Yeah.
you better lock it down because those girls are good and wild and they're going to overtake you soon. And they might kill him. They might eat him.
Something is happening in the trailer for sure. I would say that we see him with the full beard multiple times in the trailer, and it's real quick shots, but it's definitely Coach Scott. So I'm not sure.
Sorry, and his name is like Ben Scott, so it's very confusing because sometimes they call him Coach Ben, sometimes they call him Coach Scott.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like that.
Sorry about that.
No, it's not. It's their fault.
They gave him 2 first names.
Yeah.
But Natalie is, I think, probably most people's most liked character, I would say, right?
Yes, absolutely. Now she's like the goth kid. She does drugs and drinks and does sleep with some guys. She has a lot of daddy issues from her like abusive dad who accidentally shot himself in front of her, and it's kind of her fault, or she thinks it's her fault. So she has her own thing. I think she's a softie at heart, but she's very troubled. And her really only plot line, she becomes the good hunter and she falls for Travis. So teen drama.
She's good with a gun.
Yeah. But then when she's an adult, Travis becomes her whole storyline again.
But it's much better as an adult.
Yeah.
Because it's her trying to find him. I guess that they both became addicts, like heavy drug users after the wilderness. And then so we do know that Travis makes it out.
Yeah. He survives for 25 years. He survives.
Right. And then as her and Misty are finding him, he quote unquote, I guess maybe kills himself, but it's not.
It's a murder for sure. And she's the only one who believes it's a murder. But there's the symbol that's involved, which is this symbol above my head. And someone empties his bank account right the day after he dies. So her whole first season as an adult is trying to figure out that he didn't kill himself. She's trying to figure out who did it. And then when she finally accepts maybe he did kill himself, she's about to kill herself. Were you shocked? these people burst into her room, presumably Lottie's cult, because they're all wearing the symbol around the neck, and they kidnap her. So, like, the questions are, why are they kidnapping her? Why did they kill Travis? Why did they steal his money? Are there people still in the wilderness now that they're like doing sacrifices for on the mainland?
And why are they coming for Natalie?
Why are they coming for Natalie and not the other ones? Because she's onto them? But they came for Travis. So Travis never believed in all that stuff. He never believed in that or anything. And then he left a note that says, tell Nat she was right. So like now he has figured out them.
That's even more questions. What was she right about?
Yeah. Well, I think she was right that there is a cult. There is like a spirit element.
I don't think it's that. Because we don't know that they even talked about that. We don't even know.
Because she says he never believed in that. So when they find out that the symbol was around where he died, she said Travis didn't do that. He never believed in that stuff. But in the season 2 preview, we see him chanting along with Lottie in the wilderness. So he did kind of get on board at some point.
No, I think you have to get on board.
Right, because they'll murder you.
Right. I think you have to get on board is what's. So do we think that the symbol is some sort of bloodletting symbol, right? So trying to think why the symbol would be by someone who had died. What would that mean about them if the symbol is next to them? Okay, let's keep going though. Well, we'll come back to the symbol. Okay. But that's something to think about. Just I'm not sure exactly. Let me think about that. Okay, go ahead.
Mary Payne is here. We love you, Mary Payne.
Hi, Mary Payne.
Everyone, make sure you're subscribed to Pink Shade because you can hear us and you can hear Mary Payne. She's amazing.
But Natalie probably leaves us with the biggest secret, I would say.
Yeah.
Or the biggest mystery in season 1, which because them grabbing her is really violent and you don't know where she's going. But then they give some of it away in the trailer, which is frustrating. We know a couple things. Okay. Taissa, Ty.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's so good. Yeah.
I really like her. And she has a ton of mystery too. I think that's also why I don't really understand what's going on with her. Her storyline is she is married and she's running for political office and she has a son named Sammy.
Well, that's her as an adult.
Now.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
She has some supernatural gifts that she keeps pushing off and making fun of. Like she sees a man with no eyes at her grandma's funeral and she sleepwalks and wakes up in a tree.
So is it gifts or is it that she's being haunted or she has a demon and then also she has a split person? So she is 2 people that sort of, right?
Oh no. I mean, the sleepwalking could just be a trauma response and the eating dirt because they were so hungry. But the man with no eyes is so creepy.
The man with no eyes comes from something that happened to her in her childhood when her grandmother was on her deathbed and her grandmother became very afraid of an entity in the room that she said had no eyes.
Like an angel of death.
And so is it now with Ty, whatever that is? And then it's also the eating dirt. I think it's more like she's an animal, right? She looks like an animal when she eats it.
She does become very and she sees a wolf a lot. So that's, if there were Patroni, like hers would be a wolf.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun game. Yeah. What everyone's Patronus was.
But her story in the now is kind of sad because as it ends, she basically is running for office and it takes everything from her. Her wife leaves. Her son is, I don't want to say slowly slipping into madness, but something is up with Sammy.
Know, like when children are creepy on TV.
Yeah.
He's so creepy. He's like the creepiest creeper that ever creeped on TV. But you feel bad because you feel like it's because he's seen her sleepwalk and eat dirt and stuff. But maybe he's also just creepy.
Yeah, he's real yeah, it's not but then no, he's also doing all the pictures.
But
He's
he's
covered his
blocking. Yeah, he's blocking the
blocking his
window so he
window.
won't see her sleepwalk at night. And he draws pictures of the bad one, which is what he calls the sleepwalking version of her. Now, there was a scene that paralleled. So there's a scene, we'll get to Lottie, but like Lottie actually does have gifts and can see things, like foresee things since she was a child. There's a scene in the car where she like stops the car accident from happening. And then later in the episode, the exact same thing happens with Sammy and Taissa and her wife. Like she almost hits a bicyclist and Sammy doesn't do anything. So I think maybe that scene was to show he doesn't have like powers and it's Taissa the one that is creepy and making him creepy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because
Like,
I'm guessing what's about to happen is some sort of good. Okay, now that you're saying that, is it going to be a struggle between good and evil where Ty Ty is on the bad side of this? Ty's alter ego is not good. It's bad. And
well,
Lottie's gifts are good.
I mean, Lottie's gifts do not feel good. Seeing the girl in the pit at the beginning.
We don't know what that is yet, though.
That's true. I'm just assuming. So the thing, but Taissa is definitely cutthroat. There is a scene where she could maybe maims a girl who's a freshman so that they won't have to take her with them to nationals.
And doesn't really feel that bad about it. See, I think we're being set up for Ty at the beginning, but they're also letting us really, really like her.
Yeah.
So you really like her. She's one of my favorites
but it's
to watch.
her,
I think she's great.
Her determination, drive
Mm-hmm.
that is causing her. And so when she's running for office, she's willing to go low and do things and to win. And then at the very end of her storyline, her wife, who is separated from her because she's so freaked out, finds a secret shrine in their basement that Taissa has made with the missing dog's heart and the doll. This is it. And it's the creepy doll and like candles and the symbol. So my question is,
the doll also has no eyes.
The doll has
also
no
just
eyes.
The dog's head.
So, and
it's really brutal, and it's hidden. It's in the air duct. She had to go into the basement in through this air duct to find it. This is also the biggest mystery, I think, besides Natalie being taken. This is number 2.
Yeah.
What is this?
And so we saw Taissa wake up eating dirt and she had a bite, like a dog bite on her hand. So she got into it with Biscuit and then she sacrificed Biscuit. But the thing that I'm wondering that I thought of later is like, I just thought she was sleepwalking when she did all this stuff and she doesn't remember it. Like when she was on the island. And it's not an island, in the woods. But she smiles when she gets elected after her wife finds the shrine. And I was like, was she totally cognizant when she was doing that shrine? And this wasn't a sleepwalking thing. This was Taissa, full Taissa, knowing what she was doing so that she would win the election.
That's a really good point.
I don't know.
Yeah, was this a sacrifice to win?
Yeah. And like someone is pointing out in the chat, the show balances a lot of things. It balances religion, like traditional religion, like Christianity, with maybe psychic spiritual gifts and how they're different, but they're kind of like you might be considered crazy if you have premonitions, but in like religion, you'd be considered like a prophet. And then someone might have mental illnesses, but they also might have like visions, and the show kind of traumatic responses, PTSD, like there's all that sort. It's all messy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is.
So Taissa might have like mental illness or a sleepwalking PTSD response, but then she also envisions wolves and the man with no eyes. So maybe she has a demon like riding on her shoulder, like what she like carrying with her since her grandma's funeral when she was a kid. I don't know. There's so many questions.
I have a lot. Yeah, I have a lot. Sorry. I was just
So
thinking
like is breaking the leg to get to state, to get to nationals, whatever, the same as killing the dog to get to
breaking it in a
elected?
horrific way. Sliding into her and the bone, I'm just, and they're setting us up from the very beginning to think a certain way about her. You don't really think that way about her, but then once you relook at it, you're like, oh wait, no, she definitely has some stuff in her that's not great.
Yeah.
But then she has some wonderful things, like when Van is injured, she stays with Van
Mhm.
and sends everyone away
Mhm.
and is trying to protect,
Mhm.
I don't know.
But she does want to win at life in all like at all costs.
I can't
She
see
gets
her.
master's degrees and
Yeah,
gets every internship she ever wanted and high, everything.
which is why I can't see her going up against. I can't see her bowing down to Lottie. If Lottie's supposed to become some sort of supreme being
Right.
in the wilderness, I
And at the
don't
end
see.
scene, when they kick out Jackie, she's the one that's like, Jackie, don't go. She doesn't have to pray with us over this bear. It's fine. She thinks it's dumb, but she's
She
going
does
along
think
with it for
she's the
Van.
one that stays up in the attic with the body of the
Yeah, she thinks
what
the
do they
whole
call
thing's
him?
dumb.
Cabin man? The
Yeah,
man the
the
man
man
who
in the
owned the
cabin.
cabin
Yeah,
that was there before. So,
yeah.
I don't know. Oh, see, he had the symbol too.
He had the symbol. He
It's a
has
lot of
missing
death.
fingers. Something happened to him. Someone forced him to stay, or the island. I keep calling it island. The woods made him crash in his plane. There's a lot of. We'll get to that supernatural. Let's go on
Okay,
to
okay.
Misty.
Yeah, Misty, who's, I mean, everybody's favorite too, right? I mean, I don't know,
I
all
think
4 of the
Misty's most
mains are
people's
really good.
favorite.
Misty's amazing, and
Yeah,
Christina Ricci is brilliant, and it's why I was so excited about the trailer, because we
yeah,
see something that's great.
yeah. So she's like the towel girl and wants to be liked. And then when they land, she becomes like psycho Florence Nightingale and chops off Coach Ben's leg to save it.
And
And
solders it, and yeah, boy,
she
she's
loves
rough.
being useful and like appreciated for the first time. So she destroys the locator beacon so they don't get rescued.
She destroys the black box, which that was my biggest question for Misty. Well, one of my biggest is, when are they gonna find that out?
Are they going to find that out?
Does any of them know it?
Right.
I don't think anyone knows it, because I don't think anyone would speak to her.
Oh, I think, yeah. And they are so mad at her in present tense. They don't trust her. So, and it can't just be because she accidentally poisoned them with mushrooms. It's they either find out about the black box or she does more messed up stuff.
Oh, I think she's probably really, really hardcore into Lottie.
Yeah.
And I think
She and Van are the ones that like bow down at the end and are, yeah.
if I had to guess, I would say she becomes her number 1 henchwoman.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know, she's also, uh, has no emotion about hurting people.
No.
She's a little, they play her a little bit like a sociopath,
100%.
where she
And we
doesn't
see
have
her
any
with
problem killing people.
no, yeah, the girl in the beginning in the pit, we see they have a ceremony where they're eating something, meat, and we definitely see her. We know she's there. We know Van's there.
Oh, she takes off. She's the only one that takes
She's
off
the only one that
her
takes it off.
thing.
So like we
Yeah.
know for a fact she's there. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And
then
then we
as an
see
adult,
and then we see her, yeah, hurt someone.
she's gotten better. And I think she's a really nice gal and she's totally normal as an adult.
Yeah. She's such a great character. I wonder,
Just
I bet Christina Ricci's having the best time,
yeah.
because she's just Misty.
Yeah.
So she's poisoning reporters with fentanyl, like, very cleverly. She's very into being a citizen detective,
Citizen detective. Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah. She works at a nursing home where she has 1000% put people out of their misery.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or put people in extreme misery. people who
1,000.
should be on a level of morphine, and she's like, "Oh, we're out."
Yeah, just gonna
Yeah.
skip that morphine drip.
That is a dangerous job for someone like her to have. That's not
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So she kidnaps this reporter, Jessica, who is looking into the crash and has a full-on setup in her house.
In her basement.
In her
Yep.
basement. So has she kept people there before?
Yes.
And who? Coach Ben? Did he make it out of the woods? What happened to Coach Ben?
Some random guys from Twitter? I don't know. Or from Tinder?
Well, okay,
Like
so that guy that she dates in the first episode, that she does all this manipulative stuff, like, "Oh, you don't think I'm pretty. If you thought I was pretty, you come in," and then he feels bad and he comes in. And then she's like gonna give him a drink, and then he might wind up in her basement. Does she do it regularly? How many people has she killed? We don't know anything. But she seems a pro at it. She does not flinch. She knows how much to inject. She knows stuff.
But she also does seem to have boundaries with her friends, the girls from the wilderness.
Loyalty. Yeah.
Right. It's I would never hurt you. These people have done something that I feel like is putting you in danger. So I don't mind hurting them.
And then when Shauna kills her lover, Adam, Misty knows everything about DNA, how to dispose of a body. She's watched a lot of Dateline. She knows it all. She could get away with a murder. Although I don't think she does, because I think in season 2, the police are looking at Shauna. So
questions about Misty going into season 2. She takes Adam's head and hands. Do we see her dispose of those?
Yes, she puts them in the cremation casket of this old lady at her nursing home that dies.
We're sure.
So
we see a biohazard bag, but
in a biohazard bag.
But do we see the head and hands?
With the head and hands, and we see it go into the flames. So unless it wasn't all cremated properly.
No, I'm just more wondering, are we led to believe that that is what's in there? And did she hold them back for collateral or some other reason?
But then why would she put anything in there if she was tricking her friends and keeping the head and hands as collateral? She wouldn't put anything in the box.
I'm more wondering if she kept one hand. Or just a finger or something as collateral of the body.
She is a sneaky bisque.
Yeah, if we need to plant, like, I will not be surprised in season 2 is if Shauna is starting to get looked at for the crime, if she says, well, I kept his pinky and ring finger. To plant it
somewhere else.
To plant in a different
town. So it wouldn't
be
to get back at her friends. It would still be that loyalty thing of trying to get them to
I'm planting this in the dumpster behind Taco Bell. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very clever.
Would you plant a finger for me?
Which finger? Pinky? Pointer?
Would you think of it?
Yeah. But I don't like to do. I don't want to dig. I don't want to do any gardening. I don't want calluses, and my wrists are weak.
So you'll cut off a finger, but you have no interest in getting in with a little spade
under my fingers. No. So I would throw it in the water in the ocean or something. But I would have to get the thing for the dog where you throw the because I'm not a good thrower. So I would get
the weighted. I understand. Like a slingshot. You'd have to sling
that you throw the tennis ball with.
As long as you do it, I feel like.
No, I do it. Yeah, for sure.
Thanks. Oh my god.
Yeah. Next is Van. We love
All right, so and we're done with our mains. So
yeah,
we're going into small.
I mean, Van is like a semi-main. Yeah,
I considered Van a main for sure. We're just not getting her as an adult, so it's hard to feel like Van is a main character. But she certainly is in the wilderness, right? She gets bit in her face, and it's a thing. But she's super funny.
She's great.
I think Van is a great character.
Yeah, and she definitely joins the Team Lottie. We see her
at the end
Converse looking at the girl in the pit. So we know she's in that group, and she kneels at the end. She's really tough with that's all those scars with the wolf. They heal nicely in the season 2 premiere. I don't know if they had Neosporin in one of those bags, but it was healing nicely, those scars.
I'm trying to remember. It was here, right?
She has a squiggly here. She has one here, and she has another one there.
Yeah.
So,
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. How many of the people wear Converse? How many of the
well, there
girls?
is one scene in the preview where they're carrying someone on like a spit or a spike,
That's
and
why I'm
that
asking.
person appears to be wearing Converse, but
They're
Van
wearing
is
Converse.
but Van is one of the people carrying them. It's Van and Misty, I believe.
So we're gonna need a Converse count.
Someone's gonna need to do a Converse count.
Jake.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you. I can't see you, but I'm looking towards where I feel like the chat would be.
Jake is just our assistant now, even though he's our co-host on one of our podcasts.
No, he's not. He's just good at shoes. No,
he's really
Jake,
good at
shoes.
He knows like every brand, like when the release dates were. So
I feel like he might be able to spot them when I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's a talent. Yeah.
Okay, now someone's making a really good point. Shauna, a different Shauna, points out Van does escape death quite a few times. So she is in the plane trapped, and Jackie pulls Shauna away from rescuing her. The plane like blows up, and then Van somehow makes it out alive. Then she gets attacked by this wolf, and they think she's dead. She was given this piece of bone from Lottie that would keep her safe. It doesn't keep her safe from getting attacked by a wolf.
No, because something happens to the bone. No, Taissa throws it into
but then she got it back because she's wearing it later. No, I think she was wearing it the whole time.
Can someone in the chat who remembers that exact scene when they're
Taissa was making fun of her.
No, she grabs it from her and is like, "You don't need this." It's when she feels like everyone's being ridiculous, I think, about the River of Rust.
Oh, the River of Rust and the compass
like
being all crazy. Yeah.
Right. And it's like all of you are panicking.
But she's wearing it later, so she somehow gets it back. Because at the end she's wearing it, and Taissa is like, "It's okay, we can get through this. We have religious differences. You believe that the woods is a spirit that you have to pray to, and I don't. But so our religions are different. It's like I'm Methodist and you're,
Yeah.
But we're still gonna make it through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so she almost dies there, but then and they set her on fire. They like put her on a fire.
That's maybe one of the best lines in the thing is when she comes off and she's like, "Fire? Really?"
Thanks. So
also, is it because she has red hair?
Why
do they keep setting her on fire?
Why does she keep almost dying, but she survives? I don't know. And so our biggest question about
what is their problem with Van? Why is Van the one?
It's a ginger hating thing. Everyone hates gingers.
I'm mad.
We love gingers here. Yeah. So our biggest question about Van was, does she survive season 1? Does she survive in the woods? Because we never saw her in the present day. We never heard Taissa talk about her, even though they were so in love. So that was ruined by the preview and by just Showtime told us.
The trailer. And then Showtime has, if you go to the Showtime page, it's because I was looking up I was trying to find the name of this one character who's smaller. And at the very bottom, they're like, new for season 2. And it's got 3 characters listed there. And I was like, come on.
Come on, guys. Some of us watch this show like we are solving the JFK assassination. I'm solving who the Zodiac killer is back here.
I bought red yarn. I was ready to go.
Don't just give away things, Showtime. That is very upsetting.
I really
don't know how seriously. They know how seriously people are taking it because there's Reddit threads that go on for days, so they know, and they did that.
And I really didn't know about Van.
No one
Van was like, you and I went back and forth about Van for a minute because it was we just could see it going either way, and then okay, well, Van's alive, but it is very cool. I just need to know where Van is, but we'll get to that when we talk about the trailer. I wrote down everything that's around her, so I froze on it for a minute. All right, is there anything else about Van, or can we move to Lottie?
Lottie.
All right, Lottie. I don't like Lottie. I want to like Lottie. I don't respond to Lottie.
That's interesting.
I don't know why.
The actress?
No, I just think I don't know what to do with her. I feel like there's too many questions about her, so I can't get into her because I'm like, okay, what is going on with you? Just
right. So she clearly has some, again, is it mental issues or is it gifts, powers? She can foresee things. She sees a car accident. Her parents put her on medication that stops her visions.
I think we're led to believe that she's clairvoyant, right?
Clairvoyant.
That's what.
But is that like a mental thing, or is that like a supernatural thing? You know?
Well, it has to be supernatural if you're seeing what's about to happen in the future.
I would
right?
think, but there's a lot of things in the brain like deja vu that are like synapses that are funky. So it depends on if you believe in that stuff. I do. So I think it's like supernatural. But some people her parents just think she's crazy. And so they put her on medication.
No, her
but
dad thinks she's crazy.
Yeah, her dad does. Her mom thinks she has gifts. They put her on medication and she
runs out immediately.
Like she did not. You cannot. Why? Because she doesn't have parents. Her parents are rich and they don't pay attention to her. She has a housekeeper.
She was supposed to be gone for a weekend.
But
so
this is what I'm saying. Her housekeeper gives her a pill to take. Her housekeeper should have packed her. You always, if you're on medication that makes you not be clairvoyant, you bring 3 months worth of medication on any trip. I know I'm highly medicated at all times. I take 2 weeks worth of medication if I go to my parents' house for a day, just in case. You never know, but I'm an adult. Lottie's just a teenager. She needs an adult to step in and get some refills ahead of time. Put them in her caboodle that she has.
I don't know what was happening in the 90s with medications.
That's a great point.
I don't know.
It's a different time.
Just a free for all. I don't know.
So she tries to find religion and then she lands on like the wilderness is the religion and I can connect with the wilderness.
See, that I feel like we don't know exactly we don't have. I feel like for a lot of the characters, we are getting some sort of an insight into how they think. And I don't feel like we get that with Lottie at all.
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out when sort of this flip has happened for her.
Yeah.
And how major it is.
I think it happens when Laura Lee dies, who we'll get to.
But then why is she trying to have Laura Lee bring her become born again with Laura
Because
Lee?
I think she's scared of her visions and she's like,
so she thinks it's the devil?
Yes. So she's like, how can I just be one with God? If you baptize me, then maybe I'll be normal. I'll be, or my visions won't be so scary. I won't have them anymore. Something bad's going on.
But when does she have the thing up in the attic when they're up there doing the seance and she starts speaking French very rapidly?
Mm-hmm. And she gets possessed by some wind that comes into the attic through the wind gushes through the
it was the
window.
Wind itself.
It was the wind itself that taught her how to speak French.
Right. No one understands that joke if you haven't seen Evil Dead. I'm really sorry.
It's from the Evil Dead 2.
It's from Evil Dead 2. That's right. So wait a minute. So when she's up there and speaking French, also, did you get a little bit of flashbacks to Lost? Wasn't there a French woman on loop that went over and over in Lost, the series?
There must be something about French that these show creators think is very spooky.
Oui. Yeah, it's great. I like it. All right. Next up.
So,
that's it.
Well, no. So she tames a bear. A bear literally like bows in front of her and lets her kill it. And we think she becomes the Antler Queen, who is the one ruling this cult on
she 100% becomes the Antler Queen.
It couldn't be more obvious that it's her. It would be the biggest twist in the world if it wasn't her.
There's also some sort of, now looking for pictures for my board, which is in process, there is actually been a picture released from season 2 of her doing this, and it's antlers draped in white cloth.
But that's this picture. But isn't that from the
no, that's from season. No, that's season 2. I think she's not in that dress at the moon party.
Because in the full moon party, she has antlers,
but not like that, right? Her antler thing is like, how is her antler thing?
She is draped in like things, but at one point when she gets like a vision, she stands in front of these antlers, this deer head, so that only you see the antlers behind her, so it looks like she's wearing them in the cabin. If that's not foreshadowing. Do they think we're dumb?
Anybody can say in the chat if the picture behind Kimberly's head with her placing it on her head, I believe that's a season 2 promo shot. Or not a promo shot, but just like a release to satisfy people who are like, "Why is
Mary
it taking
Jane
so
thinks
long?"
she's not the antler queen because it's so obvious. But like she's the one who has this power to connect to the woods, and everyone turns to her. It's such a good statement on religion and mob mentality and like what people do in times of crisis, where they all of a sudden are like, Lottie has answers. Let's turn to Lottie. Lottie, will you pray for us? Let's, shut up, coach. You're not in charge anymore. Lottie's in
Right.
charge. And Jackie doesn't want to pray with us. Kick her out in the snow. Like, it's so because they're desperate. So they are looking for like a cult leader. And that's what happens. And then she says, let the darkness set us free, with the bear heart at the end. At the shrine.
And the Latin. That's what I wrote up there.
And the Latin. She speaks all the religions.
But she doesn't speak Latin. See, that's kind of the point.
She speaks French, but the title
Badly.
Right.
They say she speaks like she has trouble in French class, and then she doesn't speak Latin.
Yeah.
And so then she's now speaking in Latin. So we're just being led to believe that something supernatural is happening. I just don't know what.
Yeah. And so in season 2, we always believed she was alive as an adult, but we never saw her. But we felt like, did she stay in the woods and is somehow controlling these people in civilization?
We did have that theory. Yeah.
So like the cult that kidnaps Natalie, is she just in charge, or is she out in civilization? And so the season 2 premiere discusses that a little, like where she's been.
The preview does. Yeah.
The preview. Yeah.
All right. Next up, people who don't make it, who are here in season 1, we're not going to see in season 2.
Or we might. It could be a big surprise.
Or we might, but I doubt it.
Don't get your hopes up.
There's only one that I really think we might.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Jackie, she's gone.
I don't think we're going to see her.
No, she's gone.
I think we might see her if someone else dies in the wilderness, because just as the man who was dead in the attic says, we've been waiting for you. He comes down when Jackie is dying. I think that he may return to do something like that, but I don't think that
in some sort of flashback or as a ghost to talk to Shauna and be like, it's not your fault, or it's totally your fault.
Ghost Jackie.
Put me out in the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that whole diary thing will hopefully be explained. How there's something in her diary where the dates don't match up. They say it wasn't a mistake. It was intentional. And it's gonna be revealed.
If they do become cannibals, they'll Jackie.
I mean, here's the thing. From what I've seen from like Naked and Afraid and such, the way to have lengthy days alive in the wilderness, in the woods, is you have to make jerky. You have to keep the meat cold. Jackie is already frozen solid in the snow. Sorry to be graphic. And I've been a vegetarian for 30 years. So maybe I'm a little detached from the subject because I don't eat meat. But for me, it's easy to talk about. But it would make sense. Now, they just had the bear, though. So they just had a giant bear the day before or that day. So I don't know if they would resort to Jackie eating.
I think that would be later. I think it would be something horrible where they had to bury her and unbury her. And I'm hoping that's not it. And that's not the bad thing. Because there's clearly a bunch of bad stuff that happens. And I'm assuming we'll start to see that season 2. Have they released how many seasons they're doing?
No.
So let's say they're going to go 5 seasons. I think we'll start to see it this season a little bit.
I think we're going to see what happens with the girl in the pit, which has to be part of the bad thing.
Are you sure?
I don't know. They're chasing down one of their friends and they trap her in an animal pit with spikes. And then they drain her blood. We see her upside down on a hook.
In the pit?
Yeah. So she lands and it sticks up through all of her body. And that kills her. And then we see her on a hook with her blood being drained. cut to them eating a lot of meat. So it could be like obvious, like they are eating her, or it is like a blood sacrifice that will bring them an animal.
And there's no way we think this is Lottie, right?
People thought that was Lottie, but then they became sure that she was the Antler Queen.
No, no, no. But I mean, there's a chance that she's both. If they are doing religious themes, this could be some sort of a resurrection situation where she sacrifices herself as the queen. She is the sacrifice, and then she comes back to life.
I would think more likely the baby would be the sacrifice, Shauna's baby.
I don't think so. Unless the baby is the sacrifice, as in it doesn't die, but it is there to rule the island and grow on the island.
Oh,
Like the
okay.
baby is
So
left behind
I am
on the
skipping
island.
ahead to
Uh-huh.
a theory that I read. So back to the pit girl, there
Mhm.
is a theory that that scene is actually in the present tense, and there's still stuff going on in the island, the woods, and that girl is Shauna's baby. So that
That Antler Queen is?
no, the one that dies in the pit. Because she's wearing the necklace
Of Jackie.
that Jackie gave to Shauna.
She's wearing it
and then
anklet.
Shauna
She's wearing
gave
it on her
back to
ankle, right?
Jackie.
But she's
No,
wearing it
her
on her.
neck.
Where am I getting that it's on her ankle? Okay.
So that baby lives, and they leave that baby on the
Right.
in the woods,
Right.
and there's still predators and prey going on in the woods.
Yeah, I wonder.
And maybe before they buried Jackie, Shauna took
No,
back
but
the
then the
necklace.
baby is just there by themselves?
No, I'm saying there's predators and prey. Both teams stayed. Like the predators, the people that really liked the island stayed in the island or the woods.
But we know they didn't because we're seeing everybody out. So we're seeing our main
No,
character.
there's other girls. And
Yeah, see, this is another confusing thing is that there are characters. I'm wondering if we're going to meet more
new people.
of the people that are already there, because there's a bunch of people in the background that you're like, it's not just about these 5
There
people.
are a few girls who don't have names. Like Mari and Akila have
We
names.
know them. Yeah.
But there are other girls in some of the scenes. But there's also a theory that there is another sect of people living there. Like the cabin guy was there. So there could be other people there. Or I'm not sure. But it's possible when the rescue team came, they didn't get everybody, or certain people decided to stay with the woods.
Yeah.
These are just rumors.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But the necklace is very specific that you see the necklace. That is Jackie's necklace, but she gives it to Shauna, but then Shauna gives it back to her.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And then they show I just thought it was around an ankle. I don't know why.
Yeah. But regardless, she's wearing it, and
whomever is wearing it.
Whoever is wearing it is being hunted by somebody and then gets trapped and killed and drained.
And is wearing a nightie.
And is wearing a nightie.
Which is sort of what we see Lottie in a lot of the time.
And she has dark hair.
White.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah. They fully let you think it's Lottie. But then when you see the ceremony and you see the Antler Queen, you're like, oh, that was Lottie. Maybe there's a power struggle of an Antler Queen taking over another Antler Queen.
Maybe there's multiple. Maybe whoever dons the headdress is the Antler Queen, and it doesn't mean that that's just Lottie.
Yeah. But I just think because Lottie's the one that has the power, like she's the one that has the connection. So it makes sense for it to be her.
Yeah.
So Travis.
Think about my resurrection.
I love that idea.
Theory. That is an idea. That's if they go very, very supernatural with the script, which we don't know yet. So, okay. Travis.
Teen Travis, we pretty much talked about. He does a terrible job of protecting Javi, his younger brother. Adult Travis, I think we talked about. He kills himself, but he really doesn't. He was
We
murdered.
don't get to see him. I think Travis we may see again.
In a
so
flashback?
What I'm wondering is if these people who are coming in to take people or whatever that if the people that came and took Natalie, I'm
Yeah.
wondering if they are somehow faking their own deaths. Travis, when we see him, is very, very high up on that crane.
Yeah.
You couldn't be sure.
Right.
He's how many feet in the air is he?
Oh my gosh.
With sort
Like
of strange
30 feet,
lighting.
like 3 stories high. It's in a warehouse.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not
He's up
like
with
she
on a
found
crane.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then all of a sudden his body is gone. The
Mhm.
crime scene is totally clear. So that's
Mhm.
something odd. And
No,
I
but we do see the autopsy photos
oh, we do? When do we see those?
quite a few times. We see the autopsy photos with his chest cut open and the
Of his whole
bruising
body?
on his neck. Yeah. And Natalie is looking at them, so she would recognize
Well,
him.
that blows my theory out of the water
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't think we're gonna see Travis again. You think Travis is gone.
I think Travis is for sure dead. If we see him, it is in flashbacks. Yeah.
Okay.
Or ghost Travis. There's always room for a ghost anybody on this show.
Yeah. I guess so. And I think do we think Travis okay, never mind. I don't even think that's gonna happen this season. I don't know if they're getting off I think we might the trailer leads us to believe differently, but I think we're not completely getting off. I keep saying getting off the island because they're not in Lost.
It's because of Lost. Sorry,
Getting out of
guys.
the wilderness
Yeah.
yet. But we'll see.
The reason I think we are, or we're doing some sort of time jump. There could be like in Dark where there's 3 different time periods.
I think we are that's what I think we're about to do is
That's
see
possible.
yeah, go ahead.
But there's a scene in the preview where
No, don't talk about
okay.
I know
That
what you're
makes
talking about.
okay.
That's why I thought
So,
yeah.
and we talked so mostly okay, let's talk about Javi. So as a young boy,
Drives me
total
crazy.
non-entity, his dad died. It's very sad. Travis is ignoring him because he's sleeping with Natalie and being all broody. And
Broody is the
Javi
word.
has no one to talk to except for Shauna, who kind of gives him some paper to draw with. And he carves a wolf because wolves are super symbolic. And the night of the full moon, he disappears. And the only one who seems to care is Travis. Thank God Travis is finally stepping up. Coach Ben doesn't seem to notice. So we don't know if he survived as an adult. The big theory that is like the biggest theory online that people have is that the new guy that Shauna is sleeping with, Adam, who's an artist, is Javi grown up.
Yes.
Because he has a tattoo of mountains on his back. He asks her to go, oh, good. It's on Katie's board. He asked her to go with him to a cabin in the woods. He is an artist, and she helped him in the woods, like be an artist. And he lied about art school and like not knowing who she was. He did he pretended he didn't know who she was, and then maybe he got curious and looked. But she thinks he knew who she was all the time and was trying to extort the story of what happened, the secret they're trying to keep.
His name is weird. Like as an artist, he doesn't have any social media. So we don't know if his name is
website.
sorry, his name's not weird. It's just, is it his name?
Yeah.
And then he also has doesn't he have in the drawer in his house a magazine of the
she finds this
anniversary of the crash?
Yes, she finds info that he had been doing, but he says, I swear I didn't know when we first met who you were, that you were a Yellowjacket, but I did get curious and I Googled you. And so I was doing some reading because I wanted to find out what you went through. And so I could support you because he's like desperately in love with Shauna. And
for no reason, it seems like. Not
well,
saying
she's like
she's great. Shauna's amazing.
She's amazing, but she's like a middle-aged mom and she's very grumpy about her life.
They like, yeah, hit each other with the cars, and
he's super young,
seems to be like, you're the one. Let's have a martini. It's sort of it's weird.
It's interesting.
Weird thing.
My biggest thing with that, which I don't know if trauma would play into this. I know it's a different actor playing young Javi and adult Adam, but to her, it would be the same person. Would she not recognize him? Would you recognize someone from 12 years old that you spent a year and a half with in the woods every day? Would you recognize them 25 years later as an adult?
Would hope so.
I don't know. I have a really bad memory for faces.
I think you would remember someone like that.
if it was that important to
I
your
think
life.
because of the trauma you would, but I don't know. Maybe Javi goes maybe we don't see Javi
Maybe he gets
again.
plastic surgery.
No, but maybe we don't see him. He went missing the night of the thing, and that's it. Maybe Javi, they just couldn't
So
work
they
him
were
in
he was
to the
only there for
script,
3 months,
and
however
they're
long
like
they've been there so far.
yeah, they're
We
like,
spent 3 months together. I gave him some pages from my journal, never saw him again,
that's it.
and I don't recognize him as an adult and I'm having sex with him. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But
I
that's
don't
like the biggest conspiracy theory online for sure. People are
so
obsessed.
we'll see about that, but he's also dead. So now we don't know. And he's dead. He's not coming
Oh,
back.
Adam is dead. Yeah, we don't know if
Adam is
Javi was
dead.
dead.
Javi, we don't know. Javi, we
Yeah.
have is a big question mark.
But if Javi is Adam, he is dead. Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Good point. Coach Ben is injured in the plane crash. Misty is obsessed with him. He's secretly gay and he's in the closet.
Coach Ben Scott.
What?
I said Coach Ben Scott.
Yes, Coach Ben Scott. Why did they give him 2 last names and they have people call him both? But he is losing control of the group. He tried to stop Laura Lee from flying the plane and she doesn't and she explodes. Right. We'll get to that. But like he is the only adult there and has pretty much lost control. I would say it's gone.
I don't think he wants control. I think they actually set that up pretty good that he's just pretty devastated.
Yeah, he's really sad about the loss of his leg, and so he loses control at the beginning. If he had taken control at the beginning of being a leader, I think it would have been okay. But he never did because he was in so much pain and all that stuff. And then Misty's poisoning him and all that stuff. So we don't see him as an adult.
She's Munchausening him, isn't she?
1,000%. Yeah. Well, she walks by him and she kicks his crutch so that he falls. And she's like, are you okay? She's the one that works at the nursing hospital. Like,
Yeah, no, she shouldn't. No.
She shouldn't be around patients. But like we don't see him as an adult. We don't know. Did he make it out of the woods? Did they eat him? Did something happen to him? Did Misty kill him? Does he make it out and then Misty keeps him in the basement and then kills him?
I don't think he makes it out.
Okay.
I don't know what's going to happen with him. We may see like an ultimate sacrifice moment where
like I'm going to be the hero, I'm going to be the adult, and
he's going to do something that's really going to help, but it costs him his life.
That would be great.
I think we're going to see something like that.
I could totally see that.
Yeah.
Okay, Laura Lee is very religious. She kind of has visions, but they're more like Jesus-y. And she decides she's going to fly the plane. There's another plane that the man in the cabin crashed. She learns by reading a manual and she used to watch her grandfather fly. She's going to fly out. It's so brave.
It's so brave.
But she thinks it's her destiny, like her calling. She's the innocent one. She thinks the whole plane ride is her fault because she called her piano teacher a bad word in her head. Come on. So like poor Laura Lee, but I really like her. And then she flies the plane out and she actually like makes it up in the sky. And then her beloved teddy bear, whose name is Harold, I think.
Yeah,
literally
just spontaneously ignites.
Out of nothing, ignites.
Sitting in the seat next to her into the little passenger
So that
seat.
has to be supernatural, right?
It's definitely leading us to believe that the wilderness does not want you. The wilderness lets you leave when it lets you leave.
Yeah. So
or the plane was messed up if you don't, but I don't.
But
I think that's what we're being told.
There was no spark. It literally just like, it's on fire.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's super. Okay, so she's for sure dead because she exploded into a million pieces. Sure gone. She is with the angels. She is in heaven.
Right.
If anyone's in heaven, it's Laura Lee. So let's go to this is the most exciting part.
The mystery. This is the crux of the argument. Are we going to talk about the trailer first, or should we go into the mysteries and then tell
to
which
you.
ones have been.
Up to you.
Let's
Let's-
go into. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, please.
What if we were going to say something different?
Everyone's going to be screaming, and everyone just start yelling in the chat. Pick something.
Let's go to mysteries.
Good.
Yeah. So, who's the antler queen? We discussed. We think it's probably Lottie. I did want to mention that there is hair, long, dark hair, pinned onto her dress as the antler queen later, which I'm assuming is from girls they've killed. The girl in the pit. Like literally pieces of hair that are pinned to.
I did see that.
So I think that's like a sacrificial thing. Like you take a part of, unless it's Lottie's hair, she shaved off her own head and then she glued it to the dress all over. I don't think that's what happened.
Okay. Second theory on that. Now, we talked about somebody else being able to don the headdress and then becoming the antler queen, but maybe they can't fully. So they need to trick the wilderness that they are Lottie. So they cut pieces of her hair and put it on the dress to trick the wilderness that they are Lottie.
Like, because Lottie doesn't die, but so like Lottie is.
Maybe Lottie almost dies.
Yeah. And
maybe
so
they need to lock Lottie. This is why I'm asking about the spikes in the pit, because it seems like maybe they were trying to catch Lottie and they can't kill Lottie, but they have to keep her from doing whatever she's doing. And so maybe they're going
there
to
was a rift
her
between her and her followers, and
no, or there's two sets.
To the two camps,
right? Yeah. And Misty might be a double agent. So if there are two camps where Ty is the leader of one camp and Van, Misty, and a bunch of other people are over here, and maybe Van, in fact, leaves because she's like, no, this isn't good, and goes over to Ty's camp eventually, and Misty plays both sides. Could you see that? And then Lottie goes in that pit, but
I can see anything.
You think there are spikes in the pit? You're
sure there were 1000%. They're not metal, they're wooden. And they are sticking out crazy so that it looks like an animal trap. And the animal would die and be impaled several times and die.
So my thought is, if it is Lottie running, and we're talking about the opening scene of the entire series, if it is Lottie running, falls in the pit, and they think that she's dead, and so they're trying to fool the wilderness by making a Lottie sort of suit, right? By using pieces of her hair and things like that. No, I'm just saying.
Be a little far-fetched, but I love it.
But they think Lottie's dead, but she's not.
Right.
Or she comes back to life because she's magical. I'm just wondering. I don't know, but maybe it's just something really simple like.
That's what I don't want to go. If we go too far with the theories, then we'll be disappointed. If it's just that they're cannibals, we might be disappointed because that's what we think it is.
I don't think it's that.
But
and I think the people that have created the show know by this point it better not be that.
Right, because we all think it is. Yeah.
Right.
No, totally. No. They're on the Reddit threads. And
oh, okay.
No, they say they are. They are like, we know what you're thinking. Which is why that thing in Jackie's diary, like, I think it could have been a mistake and they are pretending it's not a mistake and they're going to retcon it later.
It had to be a mistake. I don't know.
I would think.
Wow. Okay. So, yes, next mystery. So Lottie Antler Queen, or possibly someone else trying to pretend to be.
Right. Yeah.
But probably Lottie.
Yeah. Or Misty, like, takes over for Lottie and keeps Lottie in the basement of the woods.
The woods. Maybe, remember that tree that had, like, there was a tree trunk with the hollowed out?
Mm-hmm.
He goes in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's also a vision that Lottie has that is underground in a building with cement blocks, and there are pipes. It's a building with, like, pipes. And then she walks to this bunch of candles. And so is there somewhere in the woods that is like an underground bunker?
Are you talking about the Dharma Initiative? Because I won't.
Is there the Dharma Initiative
I won't talk
/
about it.
millionaires watching a bunch of teenage girls eat each other for
Oh,
sport, and they
slash
take
Squid
bets.
Game.
They take bets on who is going to kill each other. Yes, Squid Game.
Squid
And
Game.
many other plot line stories.
Squid
done that.
Game meets Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
Meets
A bunch of weird TV
Lost.
shows I've seen. Yeah, like those
Right.
Hulu movies, you know.
CSI Miami.
We've seen the plot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The Rat Race movie with Whoopi Goldberg, except dark and not funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the carvings in the trees.
Which is
them?
The girl.
Was it the guy in the cabin who figured out this thing? Or have there been other groups of people in the past that have lived there and done sacrifices, figured out what the woods want?
Now, there has been something released, I think, on Twitter, right? Where it is the person at the window doing it in the fog, drawing it.
Okay.
Am I right? Does anyone know?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
So I don't. Oh boy, I was, because in my head, if we hadn't seen the one by the guy, I would say that someone's doing it when they get there. But it had to have always been there.
But someone had to do it.
So are you thinking that someone did it before they went up and saw him?
No, not one of our girls.
Not one of the people that, okay.
It was either the man in the cabin, because it's in all the trees. It's like all over the place. Like, he did it. But
do we think it's protection? It can't be, because it's when people have died.
I think it is. It's a form of protection of saying the woods, I got you. I'm on your side. I see you. And when you do a sacrifice or sacrificial killing, you also put the symbol there to be like, I'm with you.
Or this is for you.
This is for you.
So if it's on a tree, this is your tree.
It's just like a, yeah.
It just doesn't seem much of a protection at all if it's always around people who have died.
Then so maybe it is like you put it when you do a sacrifice, which in that case, someone else was there with the man in the cabin because it's by him. So unless he was sacrificing himself, someone...
didn't he have a thing through his chest?
I'm not sure how. He's in a chair and he has missing fingers.
There's something through his chest?
Some people say they see something through his chest, but
I saw something through his chest.
You saw something through his chest. So if he was killed, then someone else was there / is there who drew it, who carved it onto the floor.
Or he did it before he sat down and went like this.
Sacrificed himself.
Yeah, he did.
But why would he sacrifice himself for the woods?
To save someone else who we haven't met yet in a basement under the cabin where there are candles and there's a millionaire playing a game.
One other theory that someone wrote about in the comments that I wanted to bring up is that since Lottie's parents, her rich dad, paid for the plane, there is a rumor that they are somehow involved with this. So if anyone watched The Wilds on Amazon Prime, it's very good.
What are they
it's not that good, actually. It's just okay.
Sorry, what are they trying to do? What are the parents? What is their goal? What are they trying to achieve?
No idea. That's just a rumor that people have because their dad paid for the plane. But that could be just a plot point that they say because people would be like, why do they have a private plane?
Okay. I'm curious. All right.
So the French that Lottie speaks, she says, it wants hungry. It's in you already. She says to Shauna, it wants blood here. And then Laura Lee hits it with the Bible. She hits her with the Bible and she stops. So
she says the power of Christ compels you, right?
she does. So
Yeah.
is it like a demon and then there's goodness, like Laura Lee was goodness, and it's a religious thing, like you need to sprinkle Lottie with holy water or something?
Oh, I think it's a bunch of everything. I think it's a little bit religious, but then I don't know. Well, is it the island itself or not the island, the wilderness itself as an entity is evil, or are there people on it? This is what
Yeah.
we're gonna or is there something?
Is it like a demon thing?
And is it a demon thing?
And in the preview, one of them says like there was something bad there, and then we brought it back with us.
Right, and if it's something bad, like, did something bad happen before? Or is it like the
What's
Outlook
the origin story of the
Right. Is it the Outlook is it the Overlook Hotel in The Shining where it's just it's always been bad. There's just something in the bones of the place that is
Mhm.
bad.
Yeah.
So why? I don't know. We
Like
might find
Amityville
out.
Horror. Yeah.
I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about the wilderness. I feel like it's going to be complicated.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get a simple answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natalie in the present tense is watching something on the TV, and it's a special report about how there's always been an increase in UFO sightings in Washington state. And I thought that was interesting that they have her watching, because I don't think anything is just like casual. I think it's mostly on purpose. And they put that in there to either make you think there's aliens or just to throw you off and make it feel spookier.
In Washington state, they have UFO sightings.
More than anywhere else. Like an uptick. And they were flying from Jersey to Canada somewhere, or like somewhere, Seattle. They were going to Seattle. So they would have been flying over Washington state.
They were flying from New Jersey in a private plane all the way to Seattle?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. How'd you
Um,
find that out?
well, they're in New Jersey.
I didn't realize that we were in New Jersey. I thought we weren't
Because
given their
we know because of where Taissa's running.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
She says like in New Jersey.
Okay.
And they talk about going into the city, like the daughter goes into the city sometimes, and I think that's supposed to be New York. But they're definitely like in the suburbs.
Okay,
Please correct
right.
me if I'm wrong in the comments. I talked
Yes.
about that. The river of blood / rust.
Yeah, the rust running. Why is there rust? Is there some sort of large machinery somewhere? That's what that made me think.
Interesting.
Like,
Yeah, because they explain it like it's just a metallic thing in the soil that turns the water that color.
okay, well, that too. So then why is that happening? Is there some sort of pole here where it's like the Hunger Games and it turns like a clock and
Right.
everything shifts in the wilderness? Like, I mean, what does that mean?
So that would be so cool.
Yeah.
And at the river, the compass goes berserk.
Right.
So there are supernatural or hard metal things. There was some
I don't
like,
know, that's the
metal
only thing
stuff
I
in
could
Lost
think of.
too, I think in the island.
I think there was definitely you
Lost.
couldn't get a compass.
There was
Well,
like a metal compass thing. Yeah.
Lost was always sort of like the Bermuda Triangle, right? That's how I
Yes,
always
that's
felt.
why, yeah, planes could never find them.
Yeah.
Okay, the scene where they're on shrooms in the full moon,
Yes.
they are all attacking Travis, and they're like, "You don't belong to Jackie," but it's kind of like you belong to us. And then they see him turn into a stag, and they try to kill him and eat him. Was that just the shrooms and the full moon, or was it the woods making them go like feral?
I think that's what we're led to believe, that the wilderness is making them like something has entered the atmosphere and it's just right. So it's a combination of all of them, but that was my opinion.
Because like Jackie doesn't get it because she doesn't take the shrooms.
Right.
But when she says to Shauna, like, what were you gonna do to Travis when you had the knife to her? Jackie's like, or Shauna says, like, I don't remember, and she's very upset, like she doesn't want to talk about it. Like, it's more than just I was on
It's more
drugs, I
like
couldn't help it.
it's more like they all turned into that's the first time we see them as the pack, as the wolf pack.
A
So
feral,
and
yeah.
that's an analogy they make the whole time when Coach Scott says the thing about, "Well, you don't have to worry about" what was it? It was something about
He said wolves can kill anything if the pack is big enough.
pack
So
is strong enough.
like a wolves could take down a human, wolves could take down a bear if there's
Right.
enough of them. Yeah.
Right, and they had found a bear or something massive dead, right? And that's
Yeah.
why he said that? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why that's gonna come into play.
Yeah. And again, it's that mob mentality, like they
Mhm.
turn against Jackie so fast and then they turn against Travis so fast. Like
It wasn't even like they turned against Travis. I don't think they were
no,
actually
it
going
was
to
like
hurt
they wanted
Travis.
to sacrifice him and he was there to feed them. Like
It
Jo-
seemed like a feeding. It seemed a lot like that scene in Bram Stoker's Dracula when Jonathan's in the does anyone know what I'm talking about? There's this moment when sort of they all of the vampires come, and it felt like that. I don't know. Hmm.
they are a swarm though, and I will talk about, well, I can do it right now. Yellowjackets are predatory social wasps that hunt in groups. And they have colonies with queens, and the males are the drones who die after fertilizing the queen's eggs. So it's super symbolic.
So that's what's gonna happen.
Who is going to have sex and then get murdered or die?
Coach Scott.
But he's gay.
It's not gonna be about that. It's gonna be about, like, propagating. It's gonna be something where, like, we need to build the population. It's gonna be something, I guarantee you. It's gonna be like and he's
They
gonna be and
assault
maybe
him.
that's why we see him so angry.
They like
We see
assault
him
him.
I don't know. Okay, so that's a theory. That's a possibility. Javi? Javi's little.
No,
So it's gotta
that
be
would
Travis.
right. But Travis makes it out, so they don't kill him. They don't, not till much later. Maybe that was the prophecy.
That could be
Like,
oh,
it's
okay.
we will do this, but in 25 years, tick tick, that's the deal they made with the woods. We will get out of here, but in 25 years, we're going to bring your messengers home to the woods, the Lord, whatever. Like, and Travis was living on borrowed time. And that's why he changed his name and lived in the woods by himself, because he was scared that they were going to find him.
Why? Okay, that's odd. Maybe so. I'm thinking about that. You might be right.
Like you make a deal and it's like a deal with the devil and you get extra time, but like your deal will eventually come up. You will eventually have to cash in,
I feel like you're on the right track with that. There's something that happens there.
Unsure.
There is some sort of deal, but what is it? And I'm thinking too, okay, if Shauna's deal was that she had to leave her child, are they supposed to bring a child? To like the firstborn son or what? I don't know. Like, what do they need to bring to the wilderness that it wants? Not to kill, just to live there, to like
Right. That's why
to
when the
populate it.
rescuers came, maybe some of them chose to stay as like a you go. Someone has to stay. Like it's requiring a
Somebody
person.
has to stay or we all die. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's why the man was in the cabin as like a gatekeeper. Like he's staying. Like he was the one left behind.
Out of his group, whoever his group was.
And then when his time was done,
the island, the woods pulled new people. If they have a scene where they all stand there and Matthew Fox from Party of Five says, "We have to go back," which is exactly what happened on Lost. I will like it. I'm gonna be fine with it, actually.
If we have to, do you
I
think they have
enjoyed
to?
that.
They might have to go back.
They might have to go back. Yeah. I would be fine if they gave Sammy, Taissa's creepy son, to the woods. He can be a sacrifice and he could take his doll there. That's fine with me.
But I
That's a
don't
great
think they're
suggestion.
sacrifices. I think they go and live there, is what I'm trying to say. Like,
No,
I think
I could see that too.
that
I
cabin
mean,
in the woods, he lived there.
right. But we do see them sacrifice at least one person.
We don't specifically see it from
We s-
beginning to end. We see what
see
we're shown, like that we're
Someone's blood
supposed to see it.
drained and they're on a hook. So they
No, we see blood drip. We don't see.
No, we see a girl on a hook and then there's blood.
I'm gonna go back and watch that, and we're gonna regroup on this.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna see if it's like cutting very specifically to be like, could be 2 different times. I don't know. I don't know.
It's pretty clear that it's the girl in the pit. At least
I don't
to
know,
me
but
it was.
But do you think that that's
Plus
the same person that we see in the
symbol is a
trailer?
girl on a hook.
No, it definitely is. The symbol has to be that, like, upside down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other mysteries? We have a lot of mysteries, but is there anything that we're
No, that's pretty
really
much it.
going into season 2?
Right. So I want to know who the girl in the pit is. Why does she have the necklace?
Yes.
I want to know, is Shauna going to get in trouble for killing Adam? I want to know, has Misty killed more people? Well, I want to know what happened to Coach Ben. I want to know who killed Travis. Why? Are there people still in the wilderness? I want to know, are Mari and Akila ever going to get storylines? Those poor girls.
I think that they're going to be, if we do see a split faction, which I think we do based on the trailer. I think we might be getting people splitting off from Lottie.
That would be very exciting. And there were a couple things that I noticed. Taissa tells Shauna, we wouldn't be here without Natalie. So does she mean because Natalie was the hunter, or because something else happens and Natalie somehow saves them? It's a very specific line. And Natalie's like the effed up one, but she somehow did something when they were out there that she's the reason they are there in the present tense. Like she got them rescued or something.
Or she kills someone.
What?
Or she kills someone. I don't know. I had a thought that maybe Coach Scott, instead of being what I said, which is he becomes like the savior to do like for someone else, he sacrifices himself. It could just be that he gets cabin fever and goes a little wild.
And they have to kill him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Shauna says it felt Shauna says it felt like we were going away for murder, and Natalie says, like, we haven't done a lot worse. And Shauna says, speak for yourself. So, and then she refers to Natalie's pit of guilt. So it seems like Natalie has done something worse than what Shauna's done, or at least that's how Shauna thinks about it. That she wasn't actively involved in the killing, and maybe Natalie was.
So I think so it's possible that whatever is happening in that opening winter scene in the pit is the thing that saves them eventually. It's the beginning, or the beginning of whatever eventually leads to them being rescued.
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible that Natalie did the thing to get the person to fall into the pit? Chased them.
Right.
Ran so the person would chase them, was the bait for this. Or came up with the plan.
Yeah. She's the hunter out of the group.
She is.
Yeah.
Ooh. Or it was the hunter in the way that she shot something that was really important.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about the trailer, unless you have other mysteries.
No, the trailer's how we need to end this, and it was I loved the trailer. I thought it was fantastic. They showed
Yeah.
so many things, too many things, but I thought it was so well done. Most notably, we see Van and we see Lottie grown up.
Yeah.
Those are
As adults.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then we also meet one other character, which is Elijah Wood, the
Mhm.
actor who plays. I know
Don't
what
tell me.
okay, I know what his name is going to be, but
Okay.
because he's on the Showtime website.
Okay.
When you scroll down, it shows
Yeah.
him, and I was right about who he is, which I was really excited, but I think it's probably
I
really
think
common
I don't
knowledge.
wanna know because I'm not trying to figure it out.
Oh, I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's not
Okay.
Javi.
Okay. Okay. It's not like a huge.
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Okay.
No.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
No, and it makes me really excited because it means that he'll be playing off Christina Ricci a ton. Like,
Yeah. That's
he
what
and
it looks like.
Misty.
Yeah.
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 So, he's probably exactly what would you think he would be? What is he great
Like
at?
her new boyfriend or something.
He's a citizen detective. It's like
That would
her
be fun.
It's like her
Yeah.
counterpart, and so he's perfect for that. That's
Oh, that's gonna be adorable.
that's gonna
Yeah.
be hilarious.
Yeah.
So he's another more that's what the show does so well is put together some comic reliefy type characters. He's
Totally.
perfect. I'm more than excited
The
to have him
funniest
there.
line people have been talking about in the comments is when Jeff says, there wasn't a book club?
He does that
The
really
book
well. He
club wasn't
delivers
real?
that brilliant.
He's so upset. It's
I
so
loved it
shocking.
so much.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. We also see them being rescued. Not rescued, but we see them getting off the plane. Basically, coming out of the airport after they've been rescued. We see a couple of them.
We see Misty and
On a
reporters are
tarmac?
shouting. I thought it was more like a police station, but you might be right. It might have been an airport. And police are
Misty's
like,
hair is about down to here, and it's young Misty.
it's young
not.
Misty, and reporters are like, what happened out there? What happened out there? So that makes me think, unless there's an alternative timeline, like a third timeline, we are seeing them get rescued.
At the very end, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we also might just get a flash to that point.
Right.
Where it's I don't know. Or we see them getting rescued, but that means that we're gonna do the entirety of the wilderness in this season, which I
All
don't
of the
think we
winter.
are.
Right.
I don't.
All winter.
Because they're there for how many winters? We've talked about this before.
One winter. It's a year and a half. Yeah.
And they went down in the fall. No, 2 winters.
No, it was
they went down in the fall.
No, it was about to be, or it was homecoming. I think it was towards the end of the year because they were going to nationals. Soccer season is when? In the spring.
But
And they're wearing shorts.
Homecoming's in the fall.
Was it homecoming?
Homecoming is like football season.
No, but were they going to homecoming?
You just said they were.
I thought I was trying to say prom. Sorry. I was thinking, I'm not sure. I think it went down in the spring because they're wearing shorts and t-shirts the whole time when they land. And those are most of the clothes they brought with them.
We're gonna
someone saying prom was about to happen. It was in the spring.
It was in the spring. Okay.
Yeah.
So they go through one winter. They go through spring all the way to the next spring and then in the half. So we're just getting to the
They would
fall.
probably get rescued in the fall. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. March, someone's saying. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting because it seems like it'd be more interesting for them to actually go through 2 winters. Right.
But I think with one, it makes it like what happened in the winter. And then the winter becomes like this thing instead of like 2 winters. Like what happens it's like winter is coming. Like
right, but then they did the thing in the winter, but then they're still there for the spring and all of the summer before they get rescued. So the girl in the pit is in the winter. So then what happens after that is what I'm trying to say.
Right, if they're already feral enough that they are like murdering people or sacrificing or whatever they're doing, what do they possibly do in the
spring and
summer? That's a good point.
Oh my goodness, I have a lot of questions. Okay, but we see them come on the tarmac. We also see behind Van. I don't know where she is, but she has a little movie marquee behind her, and it says Mean Girls, Trainspotting, and Footloose. Don't know if that means anything. Those are the
Oh,
3
interesting.
movies
Those
on the
movies all
marquee.
came out at different times.
Uh-huh. And then it's got a bunch of weird objects in the room with her. It almost looks like it's a oddities place for a second, and then it's the marquee threw me off.
Well, we see Taissa and Van reunited, right? And Van is like saying, "I'm losing it" or something. And she's laying her head on Taissa's lap, I think.
I don't remember that.
I was just
Natalie is
trying
laying
to
her head on
fig
Lottie's lap.
Oh, maybe I was completely off.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
from
seem
the impression I got, it didn't seem like Van was like living in the wilderness, being part of a cult. She seemed to be more like a normal person.
which would go with my theory that if there is a Lottie group that Van defects back to the Thai
Mhm.
group, if that's
Mhm.
what is about to happen. And
Mhm.
then Van also says there's one person that can help you, and it's Lottie. And so I don't
Mhm.
know, we don't know who she's saying that to, but I don't know because then we do see them. I don't know, we see Natalie character sort of halfway
Yeah.
through say something like, "Lottie can help us."
Yeah.
So I don't know quite what's going on because I thought that Lottie had taken Natalie. What do you think is happening?
I think Natalie wasn't one of the ones who had taken her. I thought it was like her people. Um It's very strange. Like they say Lottie has been in a mental institution in Switzerland. They go to see her and she is in the woods, but it's also like there are buildings there.
Well, I think
It's
she's in Switzerland,
it
right?
might
Yeah.
be they fly to Switzerland. So, and just
I
to
mean,
clarify the timeline, thank you. It was Jackie was crowned homecoming queen before the plane crash with Jeff, and it was prom was coming up. So it would have been like Mayish probably.
oh, that's right, because they were talking about college and stuff. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they had gotten their acceptance letters. They were
Right.
planning to go. So it was yeah, it was the end of this school year. Um yeah, where is Lottie? What's Lottie doing? Crazy.
Yeah.
We do see the police are looking into Adam's death, and it's
Which
that
is
guy
great.
from Search Party who's a pretty funny actor who
Mhm.
looks like he plays a detective. So
That'll be fun.
that could be fun. What else?
I love seeing Shauna maybe getting in trouble for the murder because you know that Jeff is gonna be great. I'm excited to see that. Seems like it might be our comic relief a little bit.
She is
Um,
like when the daughter says, "So you murdered someone," and she does that funny part where she's like, "No, well, kind of."
she's brilliant. She
Yeah.
makes my heart smile. And so we do see Coach Scott multiple times with his beard.
See, I missed that. I'm so glad you said that because I was like, "Where is Ben? Where's
Y
Coach Ben?"
you see kind of a grizzled man. That's him.
Okay.
It's gotta be him because it's
Okay.
definitely not Travis. Travis can't grow that facial hair. So
No,
it
because we
leaves
do
us
see Travis chanting, and he is still babyface.
right. And then we
But
see
Javi, we definitely don't see. So
no,
we
we
still
don't
have
see
the Javi
Javi.
mystery. What happened to Javi?
Hmm. And we do
Hashtag
see
a chance for Javi.
stop it.
Someone said that in the comments. I had to.
We also see 2 ties. So Ty looking at Ty in the mirror, and it's really jarring. So I don't know what that is.
I think she's having some mental break issues.
Yeah, I think you think? Is that
Well, I
what
mean, she is. That's what was a good part when Natalie, who's like the alcoholic and the drug addict, and she's like, "You guys are just as messed up as I am. You're just better at hiding it.
mm,
We're all like hanging on by a thread here,
right.
except for Misty. She's thriving.
Kind of. I don't
She's so unhinged and wired differently.
yeah, Misty's a great character. They're doing a great job
Brilliant.
with her. She's
Brilliant.
really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And then having her be that kind of unhinged where she's super dangerous is really fun because you
Yeah.
just don't she just doesn't care.
Yeah.
She just doesn't it's fine. And then whatever has happened, I'm very curious to see what happens with her with young Misty there.
Yeah.
But I do think that they never found out about that. Never found out about that box. I also wonder what's about to happen and how it's gonna change Ty's character to have won the election. So, because she's got a bunch of responsibilities now, right? Was she running for Senate?
State Senate. Like on The Office.
The state
Senator,
senator?
and then Oscar's always like, "Wait, who's the Senate? Oh, the state senator."
Oh, the state
Gotcha.
senator. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is
I'm sorry, I misunderstood because you said senator.
because you said senator.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's gonna change that at all. Her
Yeah.
character.
Well, is her wife? I don't think there's hope for that marriage right now, especially not that she
That
won.
was another mystery that I had actually is what is going to be the reaction of Simone to
I think she's going to be
her
furious
wife.
because she had promised her she would stop running so she could spend time with their son, who is clearly disturbed and needs so much
or
counseling.
possessed or possessed
by that doll with no eyes. And instead, she's going to be dedicated to her new job. So I don't think they're going to reconcile.
Which is also really weird, by the way, that Ty, of all the people there, doesn't believe in, really wants to like pretend like there's nothing supernatural, really is putting a firm foot down with that.
Yeah.
Whenever anybody is doing something like that. And she had that experience with her grandmother.
That's why she's buried it and she doesn't want to think about it. It freaks her out so much.
Okay.
She's just like, that is dumb. That doesn't happen. But it totally happens.
My grandmother was seeing things that weren't real. Okay.
Yeah. But then she keeps saying it. She sees that man when she's making her press conference. She sees the man with no eyes. And she sees the wolf.
Right.
Several times. Yeah. So there's something going on with Taissa and Lottie that happened way before the woods.
Yeah.
They both had stuff happen way before the woods.
If old young Walt comes walking out of the wilderness.
I reminded Katie that on Lost, that child actor who could be the next Sammy was aging too fast because the timeline didn't line up because the time wasn't moving that fast on the island. They had to get rid of him and have him come back as older Ghost Walt. And so they just he was really tall and they were like, older Ghost Walt visited me and he told me what the island wants.
I'm so sorry. It's just a totally different looking child.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No, older
It's
Ghost
such a
Walt. You
bad
don't
idea.
age in life, but you age as a ghost somehow.
Oh, I hope Javi was old enough that he wasn't about to have a growth spurt. Seriously?
Right. No, he's right at that age. I think that he would
I'm
be
scared.
growth spurt.
Okay, I can't tell how old Javi is. Is he 14?
Is he like 12? I'm getting
12,
but I don't know.
Oh, then that's even worse. Then definitely he's gonna look totally different this season.
Yeah,
I hope he's gone. Maybe he's just disappeared because I can't. If he comes out and looks like an old,
he's
ghost
aged
version,
and time is different in the woods. That's
I'm
going to
gonna
be such
lose
a
my
lost
mind.
ripoff. No.
Also, I'm sorry. Who names a kid Walt
Yeah, I know.
for the show? Why did they go with that?
Walt.
I mean, it's just not common that you'd see a 10-year-old named Walter. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't have kids, but maybe.
My friend Greg has a child that's named Walt, and I think it was after a grandfather or Walt Disney or something.
I mean, it's kind of cool, but
And
I
I
just
just
haven't
kept
met a
thinking it
lot
was
of
Lost.
Walters.
I'm like, it's totally lost.
Is it from Lost?
Older Ghost Walt. No, he says no. I got to ask him again, but I think he said it was like Walt Disney or a grandfather.
I will give you $10 if you name your next dog Older Ghost Walt.
That'll be a middle name for sure. I'm going to do all of the things, and then that's going to be one of them. 1000%.
Older Ghost Walt the third.
And I will call him OGW.
OG Dubs. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's it. Did it. Okay, I am even more excited now to watch the premiere.
Yeah, and I hope we've encouraged you, if you were confused by this chat, to go back and watch a rewatch. You still have a few days, or watch. There's so many YouTube recaps. There's ones that are 5 minutes long. There's ones that are 15 minutes long. There's ones that are 2 hours long.
That are really cohesive. And this is us trying to talk about an entire season in one. Yeah. When we go into episode by episode,
it'll be much more clear because we'll be talking about what just aired.
Yeah, we just want to talk about the first season and talk about what we think's about to happen, and we're probably wrong.
We could be wrong about so many things, but that's what's so fun. Like it's so wild what they could throw at this show. Like
it's such a great show.
There are so many more theories we probably didn't touch on that are on Reddit. So
I try to stay away from them. So if you're reading them, I'm open to them, but I do try to stay away.
I play in between. I play fast and loose with the Reddit threads. Like so occasionally we did some recaps for Patreon last season with Mary Payne from Pink Shade. And like we did do one that was before I read some conspiracy theories. And then I think one after where I brought some conspiracy theories to the table.
Sometimes they're really good.
These people are so smart. These citizen detectives on Reddit that are trying to figure stuff out. They're tricking the producers, I think. They're figuring stuff out. The producers are like, shoot, we have to change that now.
That's us this year.
Yeah.
I'm determined that be us. It won't be.
Yeah.
But we're going to strive for it. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining.
We cannot thank you enough for being part of our first YouTube thing and for being so nice. Jake, I hope you didn't have to turn off too many comments. People can be mean on YouTube. We want to create a really fun community here. So
we are. And it's our first one. We'll get better.
Yeah, no, you are all part of it and we appreciate you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.